Hi, this is Shuey with a review of a descente basketball shoe. Yes, descente. It's a brand that's been around forever. It's actually a Japanese brand. They've started in like the 1930s working on ski-related items. So this little logo is supposedly something related with ski training, ski strategy, or skill movement, whatever. They are pretty popular. They've been sponsoring a lot of huge brands. Like in the 80s, if you see Michael Jordan, the Team USA jersey, it's got the Descent logo in it. They provide the uniform. Even though it's Japanese, a Korean baseball team was sponsored by Descent at one point. They do come up with nice soft foams to provide cross trainers on runners, but I think this is one of the few basketball shoes, if not their first basketball shoe. The name is Slasher Z. Slasher Z. Who? Did someone actually get paid to come up with that name? In the 80s, Mazinga Z, the popular Japanese robot, was called Transor Z in Europe or in the US, I think, when they released it as a 1.5 hour long edited movie version instead of the 90 episode long TV series. Anyway, so this for a size 9, it weighs about 408 grams, but it feels much heavier than that. I don't know how the weight is distributed, but it's pretty heavy. Slasher Z has the Z foam cushioning. Wow, their naming sensibilities, it's just, yeah, it's from another stratosphere. It's from another multiverse. You can tell by the silhouette, it reminds you a lot of the Peak Underground, and Peak Underground is, of course, reminds you a lot of the Kobe AD models. AD Exodus especially. Even the colorway reminds you of the Kobe AD Exodus, some of the later colorways. It fits a bit wide and long. It's definitely pretty long, and it's not the widest shoe out there, but the knit material on the upper is very stretchy and elastic. So if you have those situations where you wear those narrow shoes like the Kyries and the Kobe's and you feel like they're hurting your pinky, you won't have a problem with that because your pinky will be protruding a little bit through the elastic, knit material, which is soft and elastic. And also there's this cushioning. The Z foam is exposed, and I'll show you how soft and crazily easily crumpled the Z foam is. Watch what I do with my finger. It's going down like that. This is the whole freaking Z foam working. It just flattens the moment you put weight on it. So in some sense, if you missed the old 2008 Luna Lawn, which is so soft, but then they get bottom out after a couple of wear, but you like that foamy soft cushioning like Adidas Cloud Foam casual shoes, go ahead. So this was like overpriced Crocs or Skechers Go Walk or Go Run type of cushioning, Goga pillar. It does not have that energy return or a bounce in it. It's just absorbs you like sand. Yeah, it's just quicksand kind of soft cushioning. If you like that kind of cushioning, go ahead. But for basketball or any activity that requires quick movements, slashing and landing and quickly cutting, and it's definitely gonna cause a plantar fasciitis, I think, if it's this soft and without any bounciness or rigidity, any degree of rigidity. I mean, I'm a sucker for soft cushioning, but this is just too soft. But try yourself. Maybe it's your cup of tea, not mine. Again, back to the fit. It runs a little long, so it's a little weird. The upper area, the toe box area, is crazy spacey, and the knit material stretches, and it's flimsy all around the toe box area, and there's no lockdown and containment here. They should have put more lace loops here. This is it feels very insecure here. And the lace loop, look at these. So many unnecessary lace loops. Oh my God. What is their obsession? Because you don't need lace loops every couple of millimeters. If you actually wear the shoes or try to wear this shoe for any activities, to spare you from the agony, I would say skip one loop, at least, minimum. The heel cup, you see this huge, chunky heel counter, but it's a bit big, and it does not provide the lockdown that you want. You gotta lace it all the way to the top, and you might feel a little bit comfortable or a little bit secure, but there's a huge sense of insecurity and heel slippage with this really, heel cup that's like out there. The Z foam, again, the problem is it's exposed in the heel area here. So if you're under pronator, you're okay. But if you're over pronator, this compartment is going to see how soft this foam is. This thing will just collapse on you. Just yeah, it's just gonna collapse on you every time your foot. Yeah, you can see that, right? Yeah. With my finger, I can press it like that. So you feel this wonkiness every time you land, and there's some pressure applied to the exposed points. The same applies here. This rubber separation area from the Z foam, you'll feel your foot feeling that softness, but if you move a little bit to this area or here, the pressure of the rubber, the hardness of the rubber, it'll cut to your foot. So that's something you might want to keep in mind. Next time you think about making basketball shoes, descente. It's not crazy breathable. It's not the most cooling ventilated material, even though it looks like. The outrigger is there, but again, I mentioned that the super soft cushioning and the rubber kind of plays separately, and it actually, works against each other. And the base is super narrow, so you don't expect that stability. Anti-inversion protection is a negative 10, if you ask me. Especially with the softness, you're gonna get soft, wonky, and ankle inversion. Yeah, and on the tongue, it's a little bit like the Curry Flotro. They did try to have some corduroy kind of ribbed bits here to add that little bit of extra cushioning and comfort if you lace the shoe up a little bit. But personally, I would definitely prefer there to be some adequate sponge or foam material here to provide that comfort, instead of choking your foot or cutting your circulation. So the traction is excellent. The traction is very reminiscent of some of the Peak model. There's a lot of Peak in this shoe. The Peak brand shoes, like the TP97, the traction is very similar with this one, and just like that, the traction is really, really good. That's the only saving grace for this shoe. And the craziest thing about this shoe is that they give you this really soft insole. It's soft EVA with a layer of ortholite, and the thickness difference between the forefoot and the heel is, I would say, double or triple. So you'll get that extra sinking feeling on the heel. Without the insole, the shoe feels super soft and fluffy. So I would suggest, if you buy this shoe, even though it costs like over $200, get something solid. Get a rigid, thin insole to provide a certain level of stability. Otherwise, you'll be, you're basically wearing Crocs with laces.